whenever you want to do anything great, the greater the thing that you want to do, the more fear that's going to come to mind. That's going to hold you back. This is resistance in the war of art, and the more fear that you feel, the more resistance that you have to doing that thing, the more you'll want to lean in and kind of bring forth the hero within you to conquer that and slay that dragon and bring that service to your community, to bring people together.
I sit down with Case Bradford and we talk about raw milk, movement meetups, which is like a decentralized exercise group that can happen anywhere in your community. We talk about prayer, spirituality, why community is important. I hope you get a lot of value from this episode. And as always, America Plus is a value for value show. What that means is I'll never have any advertising. So if you're getting any value from this, please like, share, subscribe, follow me. And if you want to support me financially, go to the links down below or in a modern podcast app. Thanks. You said you were going to go. I was like, oh shit, I think I might meet Case in real life. And the day you met me, dude, so we were up at the farm. I was about half a bottle of wine into that first encounter. So your first impression, we might have been a little wild, but regardless, I was grateful, and I'm still grateful. So do you remember any of that?
It rings a bell. That's what I would have guessed. And I have a tendency, if I see someone running about raw milk and sharing the power of raw milk on the internet, then I like to connect with them, especially if I see that they're located somewhere nearby. And then I usually invite them to the movement meetup group, which has really grown and evolved through the connection around raw milk, and Los Angeles is like the kind of the core nexus of that group as it's grown, because I know if you're into raw milk, then you're probably aligned with other values that I share around like holistic health and sovereignty. So that's like a keystone thing for me to connect with people is around that, because I'm very passionate about it. It's a really powerful part of our culture, and so I'm glad that we were able to connect around that and meet at Raw Farms, which is an amazing place.
It was holy. It was a holy experience. And then a few hours later, I was like 2 bottles of wine in, and I'm like talking to the cows, and I'm like thanking the cows for their milk. Like, that's where I was, dude. That's really where I was.
Transcended.
It really was, dude. The sunset there was so awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny, like, I got into raw milk only because I was having issues with almond milk. I was drinking almond milk for about 7 years, and I wasn't even trying to be ideological about food. I was keto, but I was just trying to not have stomach aches. And then I find some random videos about some parents getting raw milk for their children, and their children not having any digestion issues after that. And then I chose to try it, and then I fall down this rabbit hole of raw milk, and then I find you. And it's interesting because like I wasn't like seeking, like I wasn't seeking to be a part of a group like the group that you've sort of like loosely created, but it's like at the same time it's created such a widen my horizons a bit more of like what type of people I want to surround myself with, because I sort of grew up with people who, you know, just like, I guess we can just call them normies. You know, they're just drinking the almond milk. They're doing the normal things with their life, but they're like, you know, they're good people and they're working hard. But it's such a different vibe. I call you guys the Santa Monica crew, because like, you know, just everyone is like, just happens to be in Santa Monica, and I'm not. But I find so much like hope in like a group like the movement meetup, and just like the guys that we've like surrounded ourselves with, because they are just, it's a different type of mindset that I didn't think existed, and I wasn't seeking that. Were you?
I was seeking it. I was seeking to cultivate and share it. So it's great to hear that it is having the intended effect on you, where you realize like, oh, there are other people out there like this, because I was very lonely throughout my 20s, and I was seeking other people like me. And eventually, as I started to find other people, I thought, well, if I bring us all together, and I'm able to then amplify that vibration or that state of being or that mindset to a greater level, because as you connect and cultivate community, you're then able to become more than the sum of the parts. And that's the power of any congregation, is that you're able to send a greater sense of self into the broader, you know, community through gathering and through celebrating things that you value and support.
Yeah. Did that happen during COVID? Like, because COVID like radicalized me, dude. I was like, I was at the park every day during COVID. before the movement meetups, I was just at the park. I wanted to be at the park. My gym was closed down, and I got into working out with kettlebells and steel maces and clubs, and I was just naturally, I gravitated towards the park. Like, did that happen? Was there like a similar story with you during COVID?
Yes, it was. Start training more outside and eventually really wanted to connect with other people. I don't remember exactly when it began. It was maybe 21 or 22, but COVID really, like the lockdowns and the after effects of that really like lingered for years in LA. I don't even know when it like technically ended. It's like
COVID was 3 years for LA.
3 years. Yeah.
It was like a few months for some states because I have family in Arizona, and lockdowns were like 3 months, maybe not even 3 months. Like, they were all open by May. So, and LA was just forever, and that just really screwed everyone up.
Insanity on so many levels. So to be able to seek to bring people together, that was a primary objective, and it took a while for my objective to sort of manifest into what it is now, which was the ultimate aim, where it's this thing that's growing organically sort of outside of me. I could leave, which I did for earlier this year, a few months, and it was still happening on some level, and that was always the goal. So it's good to see that it got there. It took a longer, and I think if I were to start it somewhere new, it would happen a lot faster now that I have learned sort of how to get it going. But it's exciting to see it have success here from the kernel of the idea of like, maybe this will work. And now it's spreading in Miami. Just yesterday, Miami had their first meetup, and there was like 50 people in that group chat, and 8 people showed up. So I'm really excited to see it spread there, and hoping that it spreads all over, because it has been such a powerful thing.
Yeah, decentralized movement. That's also a good sign of like a good leader. Like, whenever like a leader starts something and then they leave, sometimes, like so many times, the thing falls apart when they leave. But I think that's really interesting how there's this idea of a decentralized thing where, yes, one person starts it, one person initiates it, but then they can just walk away for whatever reason. Maybe they're just on vacation or something bigger. And then the thing still happens because people see the value in it. People see the value in the deeper idea. And that's what I love about it, dude. Like, it's so powerful because it's different from the gym. It's different from Orange Theory. It's different from so many different types of fitness groups, different from run clubs, like, it's radically different. And maybe it's like a bit niche because it's at the beach and stuff like that, and not everywhere has a beach. More areas have roads to run on than they have beaches to move on.
Yeah.
But it's still very interesting, and it's like a beautiful thing. And it's like, I feel like we've like lined up a stuff, like, I'm not even trying to get political, but just like RFK Jr. existing in the world, and like him just being like a raw milk guy, and him just like being a health guy, like that's sort of brought in these types of ideas to the mainstream, and I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, it is good because it's true, and it's nice to see things that are true rising to the top and into the collective consciousness, because there's been so much illusion for so long that has been dominating the public consciousness. So it's nice to see things that are good and right and true begin to proliferate, because that's how we make the world a better place ultimately.
Yeah. How do we make the world a better place? Do people just need to keep moving? Do we need more exercise? Do we need more like fitness programs?
We definitely need more movement. There's a lot of stagnation that is holding people back. And I don't know if that necessarily needs to be fitness programs or exercise per se. Those mean different things to different people. But anyway, you can get more movement into your life is, generally speaking, going to be positive on your quality of life.
Yeah. It's just so difficult because like out here in California, like we're on the edge of Western civilization, and like we have access to a beach, and we have this like instinct to move. And then I might visit home in Arizona, and specifically now, just because it's summer, it's fucking 118, It's like, you're not going to go outside. Even like us, like we're probably not going to go outside at 118 and try to do some jumps and stuff like that. Like, we're looking for an indoor environment. We're looking for air conditioning, and that usually just means gyms, and that usually means bodybuilding, and that usually means like very strict up and down square types of workouts. And I've just been trying to think about how to like break the mold, and I still don't know how, but I feel like we just need more CrossFit. We need more like, and I'm not even saying CrossFit as like that brand, but like we need more cross across the aisle fitness situations, you know,
Yeah.
because I see value in the bodybuilding and I see value in like the jump squats at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, there's value in the bear crawl. So it's just like, I don't know how to break this mold as like a culture.
I just got back from a week-long training camp for a movement modality known as Budokan, and it's a blend of yoga, martial arts, calisthenics. It's a practice created with the intention of how do you become the best possible athlete for your entire life? How do you master movement for as long as possible? And there's not much bodybuilding in that practice because bodybuilding is really more focused on aesthetics. It's
Yeah.
not focused on function or really at all. Like there's never going to be a situation in life where you're lying on a bench and you have to like push weight directly up off you at a 90-degree angle, which is a bench press, which is like a primary part of bodybuilding. That's just like, that's never going to happen. But you may need to jump, you may need to balance, you may need to kick someone in the head, you may need to punch someone in the face. And those are practical skills that you can practice every day that will get you fit, that will be a part of your movement practice on a daily basis for life. And those are the kind of things that I like to engage in my life, not just because like it might happen someday, you might need to know these things, but also because that gives meaning and purpose to the practice. Going to the gym and doing an exercise simply to put more weight on the bar can be relatively meaningless. I've tried that and I just like got bored by it pretty quickly. And then I found myself forcing myself to go. And then that's not a place where you want to be, where you're like, I have to do this thing because otherwise like, I, you know, feel bad about myself or whatever. I'd much rather do something that gives me joy in actual practice. It gives me meaning, gives me purpose, gives me fulfillment. And that's an available option for us.
Yeah. It's funny because like I think of just like high school when it comes to like bodybuilding and like traditional exercises. My football coaches were like, I guess they're like sort of like cliche, like they treated it like it was like the military. And, you know, we're all going in there and there's so much like competition and like testosterone when it comes to like traditional bodybuilding exercises and like, you're doing this many sets, you're doing this many reps, you're doing this right now, go, go, go.
Yeah.
And then we had like a cycle of like different days, right? So like majority of the week we would do like the bench and the squats, but then there were some days when we would do plyometrics. And plyometrics, I just had so much more fun. You know, I enjoyed doing the footwork. I enjoyed just doing like a one-legged hop on the bench inside of the basketball court. I really enjoyed, and then we would like some days we would go into the wrestling room and we had this like I forget what it was. It was like some monkey weave thing. Like there'd be three of us, and like one person would hop over. Like it would do like a push-up hop over another, and then you would weave each other with that push-up hop.
Yep.
And I was like, this is so much more fun. Can we just do this every day?
Yeah.
And and movement meetup brought me back to that idea and like modality of like just having more fun with the exercise and actually like, and you're using your muscles.
Yeah.
Like you can build muscle by doing a monkey hop, by doing the little monkey weave.
Definitely.
And like, it's very interesting how culture seems like stagnant or it seems like stiff. And we got to like open it up, you know, it's like the jewels with the fascia.
Yeah.
Like the culture fascia is stiff within a certain like idea of doing things. And we just got to break that mold somehow. And I don't know how that works in places like Arizona or like Minnesota. Like, how do you do a movement meetup in the snow, you know, and it's like -2? Like, it's very interesting. I feel like that's like I don't want to say a hurdle, but it is like something to like, people need to get creative if there's someone out there in an environment that's not by the beach, but they care about health, like we got to work through that. Like I'm praying for that.
I'd love to see that happen. There's definitely opportunities for movement in every environment. It may not be as pleasant as a Southern California beach day.
Yeah.
But I am excited, looking forward to the day where maybe I'm up north or I connect with someone up north who's willing to start that and maybe do long sort of farmer's carries through the snow and be cold for 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. And then you go back inside and you're warm and you're so grateful for that warmth. Or if it's in Arizona, you get back inside the air conditioning. You're like, ooh, you know, ultimately it's not going to kill you. Most likely in training.
It depends, dude.
Any American environment. You can, I mean, yeah, there's some risk if you're like dehydrated and you're training in, you know, a hot temperature and you're sweating a lot, but like, I feel like it would take a pretty high degree of like lack of awareness to actually die or like you'd have to really pushing yourself. So, you know, it's easy to say from the comfort of a 75-degree Los Angeles day. But I know for a fact, I grew up in New Hampshire where it was very cold and hot in the summers, where we would do stuff outside and we'd survive and have a really fun time.
Yeah.
It's there's always opportunities to integrate play and nature into life and benefit from the vitality that springs from that environment.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, playing football in high school, like the heat warning out there isn't until it's like 107. So it's 106, and we were in like full pads hitting each other, but that shit just sucks. And I just think back to that. I'm like, if people have like, if there's like a traditional, like if people growing up, if they go through that, they probably won't be as into going back outside when they're out of school, when they're out of the extracurricular activities, and it's 107, and they don't, and like, what's the point of working out when it's 107? You know?
Yeah,
It's very interesting.
well, I'd say it's not 107 every day, and some days may be better than others to enjoy training in nature for like a full immersion. But even going for walks outside and then coming back can be so life-giving and nourishing if you are stuck inside based on where you live. So there's always something. I mean,
Yeah.
there's always something you can do, and it's always going to bring value into your life.
Yeah. Were you doing like the way you work out? Were you doing that before COVID?
I was a little bit in some ways, but I'm a little worried about that towel.
Oh shit.
We're good. You could probably fold it up too.
Yeah. It's an accent.
It happens. We're rolling with it. Yeah. Going with the flow.
Yeah.
I was gym free at that point, but I wasn't doing as much. I wasn't doing any handstands. I wasn't doing as much like explorative, playful movements that I am now. I've like drifted more in that direction over time as I've learned and evolved in my practice. But I hadn't gone to a gym for a few years at that point.
Interesting. And that was like, was that instinct or was that like more like ideological? Like you started hating the gym?
It was just an instinct to want to be outside in the sun.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the benefits of sunshine and earthing and fresh air at that point. I just felt the intuition that I didn't want to be inside this box when I had free time. I wanted to be outside in this open air space with the sunshine on my skin, with the fresh air in my lungs, and with the earth beneath my feet.
Yeah. I feel like gyms just need to expand as well. Like gyms need to have more outdoor environments. Because I've thought a lot about that. I've had a lot of ideas of like, how can you change the gym to be more general movement based and more like nature based. And it's like, we need more outdoor areas. We need more shade. If it is hot, we need more we need to be more creative. I had this idea for like a family centered gym where it's a trampoline park, which I'm not sure if you've been to a trampoline park before.
No.
Okay, Case, you need to like jump on a trampoline. Like that, if you want a real workout, dude, jump on trampolines with a bunch of 6-year-olds. Like that's the real workout, dude, for 2 hours. Because you pay for like a 2-hour stint. Jump on a trampoline for 2 hours and see how tired you are afterwards. And then, so like the trampoline park would be in the middle. And then on like the outer shell, there'd be like, traditional gym stuff. And like the parents would be able to like see the kids jumping and stuff. And then, you'd have a pool, and then I would imagine like a little like outdoor area. There'd be like a track and field. Like we need just more general track and field stuff within the gyms.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a low hanging fruit. Track and field is like, it's in the Olympics, but it's not at the gyms. I think that's weird.
Yeah, I know that part of the restriction or the box that a gym is within is just going to be the cost of real estate. And there's not a lot of commercial real estate where they're including these outside areas. Just like here's a warehouse, here's a structure. You can pay a certain amount a month and we'll let you do whatever you want with it. So a lot of gyms are built in that way, but I know people that are making their own gyms, and it's a lot more cost effective to just do it outside. All you need is some bars. I know some people who are shaping trees into workout gear, so you can trees can be shaped and they can be turned into pull-up bars and things that you can climb on and swing from. Trees in general are amazing little gyms that you can climb on or hang on or do pull-ups, so entire calisthenics routines. And they provide shade, but not only shade, they're emitting phytoncides, which are well known to increase our immune system, elevate our mood, increase our energy, terpenes, negative ions. Trees are little health making machines, and compare that to inside of a gym where you have none of that. You've actually got the opposite of that. You got stale air, you've got positive ions, which increase inflammation. You've got all kinds of chemicals from people's perfumes, from cleaning supplies. You've got people farting, and you're like inhaling all that when you're in there. So you're inhaling all that. You've got high EMF. You've got the positive ions. It's a devitalizing environment.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad choice personally, but I know that for some reason people need to go in there to do what they need to do, and it can help a lot of people. It's just not for me, and I'd like to illuminate another way for people.
Yeah. No, but I love that. And like for me personally, like, I have chosen the gym over the park on certain days because I might want to do a machine. You know, sometimes like there's like some good squat machines, and like there's some days when I just feel like I want to squat heavy weight. But I don't want to do like the traditional like bar on my back. You know, they have like different, you know, they got like the thrust thing. They got like this like thrust machine that's like interesting. And I don't know, like something about me, maybe it's just because of the way I grew up and the high school workouts sort of ingrained in me, like the traditional bodybuilding exercises. And maybe that's why I do feel like I want to do that sometimes. But I also feel the thing that you're saying is like, yeah, there's way too much inflammation. Like the gyms create inflammation. And sometimes I don't feel good when I leave the gym. If I do feel good, it's probably because I'm just going to the gym for the sauna. You know, that's pretty much what I'm paying for my gym for, just the access to the sauna. I feel like that's like the number one thing for me in my life. I've been doing the sauna since like 2016, 2017. And that's always been my top tier. Like I need the sauna. I need it. Even in Arizona, I was going to the sauna. And, you know, when it's 118 outside, but it's 180 inside the sauna, like that's a difference, and it trains you differently. And I definitely feel better when I go to the sauna specifically. But when I go to the gym, I'm just at the gym, like I feel you. Like I don't feel as high vibe. I don't feel high vibrations when I leave the gym. So maybe I just need to think about that more.
Well, it's interesting, right? You're saying it's too hot outside to work out, but then you're choosing to go into a place that's even hotter.
Because I want it. I don't know why. I'm just a desert rat, dude. I'm a desert rat. Like I like the heat, and I'm like a weird guy. Like I feel like all my friends growing up would say that I'm a weird guy. But like I don't want to like work out in the hot sun, but I would work out, or I would just sit in a hot room.
Yeah, I mean that's a really interesting observation, because you're essentially accomplishing the same goal if you were to train outside. It's just like a free sauna, and there are some days in LA that will be hot. Like it's a hot day in this part of LA is like 85, 90, and there's a bit of a breeze. But what I'll do is I'll put on a couple pairs of sweatpants, sweatshirt, another sweatshirt, and a winter hat. I look like a crazy person going for a run, but I call it my sauna jog, because I'm just like basically taking a sauna, but there's more movement involved because I'm like jogging at a slow pace, which I don't usually condone jogging. But in this situation, I've created my own little mobile sauna, and I don't have a gym membership. And sometimes I go to a sauna, like, a sauna studio, because I do love the social aspect of sitting and sweating and having conversations. It's an amazing state. I'm not shitting on saunas anyway. I'm just illuminating this like interesting dialectic between like training outside, turning it into a free sauna. Yes, it's hot, but I'm also getting all the benefits of a sauna versus like going and sitting in a sauna. Very different. Like it's apples to oranges, but it's interesting to talk about. And I totally love saunas, and the meditative state and the thoughts and the ideas and the way you feel afterward is like impossible to replicate.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to think about it from that perspective.
Yeah, there is like spots popping up. Like there is like some sauna place in Venice that has sauna and ice baths, and there's another place, I think it's in like Westwood or something like that, somewhere in Beverly Hills, called Remedy. That's like they have saunas and they have ice baths and they have different massage things. They have some robot massager. For $1,000 a month, you could have a robot massage you, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
But there's like maybe things like that need to open up more. That it's not traditional, but it does help you have like it does force you to put yourself in a different state, because that's what the sauna does. A different state of mental, a different state of your body. and you're also being social, and it's not. I don't think it causes inflammation. If like a group of strangers went to the sauna and ice bath, I think that's different than strangers trying to lift weights and farting next to each other when they're trying to do some back exercises.
Yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be more widespread. They're amazing. They're great places. And I think as more people tune into this frequency, to this ideation around holistic health, to like wanting to live that lifestyle, to see more of that. I think a lot of money is currently going towards like bars and fancy restaurants and I don't know, like sports. Like look at the sports stadiums and the fact that these 20-year-old kids are making millions of dollars to play with balls. That's because there's so much attention and money going to this act of like sitting and watching other people play with balls. Like that's an insane thing to do in my perspective. If you love it, I'm all for it, but I don't do that. And I don't recommend that people do that because I think it's a waste of time. You could be improving your quality of life in a really real and meaningful way by doing things like training out in nature, sitting in the sauna, engaging in movement. There are things that you can apply your energy and attention and money towards, and then you're also building a better world because you're getting more people to do that. You're like supporting that movement. You're contributing your energy and your money towards this movement. That is a really powerful and life-changing movement.
Yeah, I've gotten more bored of sports as time has moved on. Like I haven't watched sports like actively in years. Like sometimes I give myself guilt if I'm like missing the UFC fight, but then when I really just like sit back and just like take a breath, I'm like, I just don't give a shit. I give zero shits about the sport. I give zero fucks about anything going on within any of that world. And maybe that's just because of like my mentality. Maybe that's because of some sort of wider consciousness thing going on where, the world's ending and I realize that or something. Like I just don't care about the little game going on because I care about bigger things happening in my life and around me. I feel you on that. I just don't care about sports, and I feel like people. I mean, football tickets are so expensive too. Basketball tickets are like a fucking luxury, and like you're just gonna go there. You pay for the luxury ticket, and then you pay for the luxury beer. It's a $20 beer, and then you're trying to impress people somehow. Like it's a weird social dynamic.
There's this thing happening where humanity used to play music, but now that's being outsourced to professionals. We used to play sports with each other. Now that's being outsourced to professionals. We used to like connect with each other and have sex with each other. Now even that's like being out. People are paying for it. They're like, oh, I'll pay someone else to like do that for me, and I'll just watch it on a computer. That's all insane. And I'm not saying.
Wow, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Well, I'd rather pay for professionals to have sex.
Yeah, all those things are crazy. All those things are crazy, and I'm not perfect in all those regards. Like I don't play any musical instruments. I don't sing and dance as much as I probably should. It would bring a lot of value to my life if I get together with my friends and we're all playing musical instruments. Like I turn on Spotify and listen to music. But it's something really interesting to think about if you are in that point where you're like paying for all these things. Like, all right, how about you stop like 2 out of 3 of those? Those other 2 I mentioned, like just quit those now, and your life will be dramatically better over the next coming years as you like stop those last 2 that I mentioned. Like keep listening to music if you want, but if you cut that out too, great. Like start playing music for you and your friends. I guarantee they'll be bringing some high vibes to wherever you go if you're like really good at making music and playing it for your friends. That's an amazing service.
Make your own sex, make your own love, make your own music, make your own food. That's
another one, food.
Yeah.
People are paying for other chefs to make food when it takes 5 minutes to make food at home. Yeah. And it's a lot healthier.
Yeah. I was working at a restaurant for a long time, for like a couple of years. And I was already like semi into cooking. I knew how to cook myself a steak, and I knew how to I was already like generally cooking for myself. And but then working at the restaurant, I just realized like how few people actually cook for themselves. Yeah. Everyone there would cook for themselves because we would all talk about like what did we make last night? What do we like? Oh, there's this really good spot. How like, and then we talk about like if someone who's working at the restaurant goes to another restaurant or goes to a taco stand or whatever, they're like interested in how it's being made, But generally, within like the general public, like people are just buying it. Like they're just buying the box. They're buying the box of food. They're just getting like they don't care how it's prepared. They don't care what's even in it. They don't care what's going to make it better. because in the kitchen we're like, oh dude, you got to put some lemon on this. No, dude, put lemon and lime. Like, no, papa, like you got to do this. Like, we got this there's a whole community around how to make the best food. And that really opened my eyes to like, wow, like cooking it's not just like a skill, like it's a value. And like giving that away to some sort of company, some sort of quote unquote professional, it's like, it's so strange because like maybe like your grandma might be a professional at making like whatever your grandma makes, so it's like you don't want to make for instance in my family we have these like cookies, we call them no bake cookies. It's just like oatmeal and chocolate. It's usually made for Christmas. There's no way I'm making that. Grandma, you make that. And then my sister Lauren, like, Lauren, you make that. I'm not making this. I might need to learn it one day, but like, I want those people to make what I like, So that's a funny dynamic where we want some people to make the things that we love, but generally we need to make the things that we need, That's such an interesting observation.
It's part of what makes those gatherings so special is that you gather with people you love and they're cooking food and they're infusing love into the food.
Mm-hmm.
There's this common idea, oh, it's made with love. That's very real. And that practice, that process of creating things for people you love, infusing your love into the meal, that makes it more nourishing. And you're able to gather on a table, everyone says a prayer, and your nervous system is regulated, you're laughing, you're making eye contact with people, you're sharing stories, you're talking about real things, and then you're enjoying like a beautiful meal made with love. And that's
Mm-hmm.
like resigned to only the holidays. That's crazy. That should be happening
all the time.
All the time. Yeah.
All the time. It's hard too because like sometimes like life, jobs and things like this, like it doesn't allow that. I don't think people are really rejecting that. I feel like they're busy and then they forget, which is another type of rejection, but it's like a sad type of rejection. It's like damn, like some people are just forgetting to like invite people over. So some people are just forgetting like, oh yeah, we can like here's one regret I have during COVID. I should have bought a grill and just started grilling food in my courtyard. Like that was something that I thought about. Like I thought about that consistently throughout lockdowns. Like, what if I just bought a grill and just started making food and like had other people like bring like their bratwurst or whatever? And I never did because I was like afraid of something. I don't know, I don't even know what I was afraid of. Just like afraid of that, like reaching out. Like I would open myself up, I guess. Like, I don't know, I felt vulnerable. I guess I was afraid of the vulnerability.
Yeah.
And maybe I justified it by like, oh, the building doesn't allow grills or some bullshit. I don't even know the rule. Don't even know what's going on there. But I allowed myself to not open up to people. And I always think about that because, the majority of the people in my building, they were there during COVID and they're still here. It's like, damn, I still don't know these guys. I still don't know anyone's name.
That is an important observation. I think fear is like always what holds us back from getting to where we want to go. There's always that thought. Whenever you want to do anything great, the greater the thing that you want to do, the more fear that's going to come to mind. That's going to hold you back. This is resistance in the war of art. And the more fear that you feel, the more resistance that you have to doing that thing, the more you'll want to lean in and kind of bring forth the hero within you to conquer that and slay that dragon and bring that service to your community, to bring people together in this example around grilled meat and good food. And I'm sure this exact thing or something similar will manifest in your life going forward, or maybe it has recently. I know it does in my life pretty consistently, and every time I want to get to that next level, there's always some vision I have of what I want to do or what I want to create that will ultimately be of service to other people. And there's always some fear around it, like, who am I to do that? Here's some reasons why not to do that. The mind loves to keep us confined to what is comfortable, keep us in this comfort zone, but everything great, it lies without that, right outside that comfort zone. So it's great to be aware of that, so that next time it comes along, you can hopefully slay that dragon and get to the next level of being of service to the people around you, because you never know what will come of that.
Yeah, I want to do that. I've always had this idea of like having everyone that I knew growing up, friends and enemies, like the girlfriends who hate me or the ex-girlfriends who hate me now. Like, I want everyone in my backyard, and I would just want to have a giant barbecue. That's sort of like a dream of mine. Maybe it's like some silly dream or just like some like fantasy, but like I love the idea of having everyone together during a barbecue. I experienced something similar like that last year after my dad died. We did a celebration of life, and many people came over, and it was at our house. Many people came over, and we had like tacos and stuff. We had a lot of food, and um, just that sort of environment. Like, even though it was a sad experience, it was like, wow, look at all the love here. Look at all the love in my backyard. Like, this is awesome. And then, that party, I call it a party because it was a party. That party went on to like 3 in the morning. And I was like, damn, like, that's legend. That's legendary. Like, this is awesome. Like, we were drinking, we were getting inflamed. I was drinking a lot back then, Case, not anymore. But, the connection around food, the connection around just coming together in a certain environment and choosing that, it's being forgotten for some reason. Like, it is, but it's not at the same time. Like, we got to break through that. Maybe I just need to be the leader in that case. Like, if I see it, then I got to like fill that need, that's what I'm realizing right now.
Everyone has that opportunity to create community and host gatherings and catalyze these things. And you're right, it is really important. And I think most of our best memories are likely with other people. It's not gonna be like, oh, I love all these memories of me being alone and like, doing this stuff by myself. It's like maybe for some people who are like really into solo traveling or something, you might have peak experiences by yourself. But for the most part, all our favorite moments of life are when we're with each other and we're filled with love. And maybe there's alcohol involved. I'm not anti-alcohol. There are some moments where like I think alcohol is a good thing. It's part of our culture for a reason. And there are many ways to cultivate community and enjoy gathering and good food, music, playing, dancing, having some alcohol or other substances that help get you out of like that sober state.
Yeah.
is important and necessary. And it's definitely an opportunity we all have. It's so easy. It's free.
Yeah. The party drug should stay at the party. I feel like I used to smoke weed. I quit smoking weed last year. Now I just like I'm not even seeking it, and I'm thinking like the same thing about alcohol. Like, maybe alcohol and weed and certain things need to be held onto or reserved for that gathering, because it sort of enhances it as well. Because I used to just like smoke alone, and there's like zero positive memories of me smoking alone. Like, I don't know when I had a good experience. Like, I really don't know how that helped me at all. But I can tell you, like, when I had a good time smoking with my cousins, when I had a good time smoking with my friends, So that's very interesting to think about as well. And maybe I actually drinking with my friends as well. You just create memories, That's like, on the dark side, you might get like the hangover and you put your friend on the roof and he almost dies. But on the positive side, it's like, yeah, like, we're together here and we're having a good time. Have you had that? Have you had an experience like that where you and your friends were just, just balls out to the wall and you had a good time?
Yeah, that was like all through college.
That was last night.
Yeah. Not last night. No, in my late teens, early 20s, I had a lot of that, and it was difficult to get a grip on it. Kind of got out of control, so I had to put a stop to it after, I think it was New Year's when I was 22 or 23. I had like woke up, I didn't know where I was. I had flashbacks of like wandering around these snowbanks in New Hampshire, and like I could have died that night if I had not somehow found my way into somebody else's home. I could have frozen to death in a snowbank pretty easily.
That's crazy.
After that, I realized like, okay, I'm gonna put a stop to this, and I don't go out. Like, and I didn't actually successfully put a stop to it that day. When I moved out here when I was 25, 10 years ago, I was still very depressed and having suicidal thoughts and alcohol. I had like one more experience on like Halloween sometime with my brother's friends, and had a similar experience where it's like had way too much, too fast, and just like, essentially blacked out and was in a terrible state the next day. And that's when I really truly put a stop to it, was after that, because it was another sort of near-death experience where I just like knew that I could no longer do that. It was just like, I have to put my foot down. I'm in this rock bottom place, and I have to use the rock bottom to push up to get myself into better state of being and quality of life. So that's when I really got on a mission to learn as much as I could about how to live a good life and how to be healthy and how to elevate my vitality. And that sort of began a journey to get me to where I am today and where I will continue to go. But alcohol, I think it can be nice in small amounts on social occasions, but it's definitely abused by a lot of people, and maybe they get trapped in that.
So you were depressed when you were younger, and you sort of like had to like climb your way out of that. Is that story?
Yeah, I was definitely had a lot of depression and anxiety when I was younger, and then sort of like had ups and downs, and then eventually I sort of figured out how to be more buoyant. But that took a long time. Took a lot of learning and experiencing to get there. It's something that a ton of people struggle with, and they have no tools to deal with it. And it's really sad that the default option is just like take these pills, and then if you have side effects, take more pills. And a lot of people get stuck in that because it's certainly not a solution. Like, you're not depressed because you have a deficiency in pharmaceuticals.
You're right about that. You're right about that. What's crazy? Here's a fun fact about the SSRIs and all those pills for depression and anxiety. They say it's like they don't test your levels of serotonin. They don't test that. Like, you don't get a test. It's just an observation. But then like they give you something that changes your chemistry. They're not testing your chemistry before they give you those pills. Like, that's something that I found out, and it's like that's even crazier to think about. Like, we're prescribing something that changes the body, but you're not actually measuring the body as to what it needs. It's sort of just like this like blind dart game. Like, all right, let's try this amount. Let's try this one. Let's try this one. It's like, and then you just gotta find the one that works. And it's like, this is not the way. Like, how can anyone think that this is the way?
Because there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're totally right. I've never been on any sort of medication. Thank God. I feel like I've been lucky from that. My parents were never into that. My parents never needed a lot of medication. My mom takes medication because she has like autoimmune stuff, and I'm like, you can get rid of your autoimmune so you do certain things, Mom. And that's like her own journey, but never like I was never brought up to like listen to the doctor. I feel like I haven't had a vaccine since like 2004. And I've always been thankful for my mom because of that. I'm like, thank you for not forcing me to get any stupid shot. And there's been times when I tell people that, like, I haven't had a vaccine since '04. They're like, what? They think I'm like dead. Like they look at me like I'm ill. But they have all the issues. I have no medical issues. They have all the issues, but I'm the weird one. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's how upside down our culture is. As one example, it's just the reliance on these pharmaceutical treatments that aren't necessarily the best long term and aren't even the best short term for many of these conditions, but it's very convenient.
Take this pill to heal you. Boil this milk to not kill you. Like, that's so crazy. When I figured out the raw milk thing, I was like, wait, so they're boiling it to kill the bacteria, but they're actually killing the healthy bacteria that actually helps you. Like, that was like a major flip for me. And then I started thinking about like all the other raw things that you can buy at the store. Not even talking about like health. Like, you buy raw meat, you buy raw lettuce, you buy raw pasta, you buy raw everything. Everything at the store is raw, and then you cook it. But the milk needs to be boiled before I buy it? That makes no sense. Is anyone buying pre-boiled pasta for the safety? Like, that's insane. And I try to explain this to people, and they're like, huh, maybe. And it's like, that's still like a hurdle we're getting through. And maybe I'm just like, maybe I don't know how to talk about it correctly yet, but it's so weird how like milk is like the only thing that you need to boil for it to be safe.
It'd be a sad world if you walk into the grocery store and all the meat was cooked well done and all the fruit was already just like sauteed and boiled, and it was like a lumpy, mushy mess. And the raw milk, definitely the beneficial bacteria are more present in its raw, true, authentic form, and also the enzymes that help you digest it. I thought I was lactose intolerant until I discovered raw milk, and it healed my so-called lactose intolerance. In reality, that was just my body's reaction to drinking overcooked milk.
So, okay, so that's interesting. So if one day you like someone gave you a glass of milk and they didn't say it was pasteurized, but it was pasteurized, you would be able to digest that?
Now I would be,
Really?
because I have the enzymes and the beneficial bacteria in my digestive system, in my microbiome from drinking so much raw dairy and eating raw cheese. But previously, I would not have been able to.
Same here, but I've also had experiences where I might buy the brand Alexander Farms, which is vat pasteurized, which is a light pasteurization. Um, I still, and I don't have immediate gut issues. It's like when I'm taking a shit, then I'm feeling it. I'm like, wait, I'm like constipated for some reason, and I feel it, and it's only like it's specific. I know for a fact it's specific when I have that milk in my house, and so I still have some sort of sensitivity when it comes to some sort of pasteurization, and milk specifically too, because I might have there's that ice cream brand Bear ice cream for bears,
Yeah.
and they do a light pasteurization, but I don't have any issues with that type of ice cream. I can do the vat pasteurized heavy cream. I don't have any issues with that mainly, but specifically with the milk.
It's interesting.
And so I don't know what that is. But when I drink raw milk, like everything's awesome. Everything's great. I feel great.
Yeah, looking at poop and understanding the pooping process is an interesting way to understand health and certain tolerances. It's an immediate indicator of like how your system is functioning.
It's the only way to know that you're healthy.
It's one way.
It's no, I mean, it's one way, but I feel like it's the only way because like I'm actually been like extremely like I'm like conscious of like how I'm shitting.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have had that. Like, and people make jokes about like the spicy food fucking you up, but it's like no, like if I have too many cashews, like I'm really fucked. Like if I have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I have too many nuts, if I have too many, and also like if I have like too much cream, like there's times when I have like too much heavy cream.
Yep.
Because sometimes I might do like frozen berries and cream, and you know, and then I'm all of a sudden like it's like fuck, I'm shitting a rock.
It's true
because there's no moisture.
Yeah, if you go out of balance, your body will let you know, and that's one way. That's really obvious.
Yeah,
that your body will clue you in to like how things are going within. You can just see it or feel it, and that's a great indicator to like observe those observations that you shared. That's a great example. And there could be a lot of things going on with the milk. Who knows? I know that there is certified regenerative Alexandra family farms, and they're light pasteurized through the vat pasteurization process, but there could be other things going on that may be causing the digestive distress for whatever reason. We don't know everything about nutrition. There's a ton of open question marks. There's a ton of mysteries. So it's a good learning process to just know like, okay, this doesn't really agree with me for whatever reason, so I'll just drink other milk. And
there needs to be like a holistic Brian Johnson. You know what I mean? Because like the only like, because like I hate Brian Johnson, but like the only thing that he's like good for is actually like I really respect how he's measuring everything. I think that's a really valuable thing, and just like interesting as well, like measuring your organs, measuring how things are affecting your organs and your skin and things like that. But there needs to be that. We need to measure how the holistic stuff is affecting our organs and affecting our bodily functions. I feel like there needs to be more measurement on that because there just isn't yet. You know, there might be some sort of, there's like studies on how raw milk affects asthma with young kids, but that's like not enough, you know?
Yeah.
We need to actually like, is there a way to like see or like measure how our digestion is going that doesn't require us to wait to shit? Like we need like a little like nanobot. We need like a little like camera going in there, like just looking at how everything's going.
Well, I'd say the way to measure that is through the way that you feel. Now that feeling state, are you energetic? How's your mood? Like mood isn't just some random thing.
Yeah.
That's a downstream part of your lifestyle, not just what you're eating, what you're thinking, your environment, the way that you are engaging with other people. And there's a lot that gets messed through the scientific, atomistic. We're going to measure this thing. And that really blinds you to a lot of what's going on in life, because then you're missing everything that you're not measuring.
Yeah.
And if you take this super scientific approach to health, you're missing the other side of the coin, which is the artistic approach to health. And I would say
the intrinsic, like the instinctual.
Exactly. I mean, if you think about all the great works of art, do you think Da Vinci was looking at his paintings and thinking to himself, like, I need to measure this? Or was he just painting?
Yeah. I definitely feel that. Because I've been feeling, it's this weird dichotomy where like, culture, like modern society, is sort of led by science. But then it's like, and because I've been, I watch a lot of podcasts about like God and spirituality and things like this, and there's some people in my life where I might mention something about the soul, and they're like, their response is like, I'm gonna have to see some studies on that, Cole, or like something like that. It's like they need like a study to prove the existence of the soul, and I get like pissed off. I'm like, is there any like double blind placebo on that good is good? Like, how do we know that good is good? You know what I mean? Like, how do we know that you're like, have you double blind, have you measured your instinct? How do we know your instinct is good for your life? You know what I mean? It's like, if you really want to be scientific, like then you're going to have to study every single thing. How do you know your right foot is really good for walking? It's like, it's like some things are observational. Some things are based on experience. And then I'm also valuing science at the same time. Like, that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I'm so in line with the soul, and I'm like seeking more soul and instinct and art. But then it's like, people only care if it's scientifically proven. It's like, what the fuck is this? What is this? I don't know.
Well, not everyone thinks like that. A lot of people have made science their God, their religion.
Mm-hmm.
Collectively, as a culture, that's probably the dominant religion, and look how it's working out for us.
It's not. It's not, but it's only good for measuring, right? Like the scientific method, it's like it measures. It's there to measure things. And so if you can measure something that is a part of your body, like if there's a way to measure the positive benefits of meditation, like that, I would say that's good science, quote unquote good science. People have their studies that say that show how praying regulates your nervous system, and how praying over food can help the nutrients in the food absorb into your body more, because your body and the food are now aligned with each other on a vibrational level. But yet people don't even care about those studies, because then they think those studies are woo-woo. It's like somehow the science goes woo-woo, which is still crazy.
Yeah, I mean, the most important things in life cannot be measured. How do you measure love? How do you measure the way it feels when you're laughing with your friends, and all these things that like, wow, I'm so glad science is so valuable. We've proven that praying is good. It's like, we've known that for generations. It's like, wow, science is so great. It's finally proven that.
1,000 generations.
Meditation is good. It's like, yeah, we know that already. It's like, thanks, but we've figured this out. And there's really no place for science in health. I don't think it's done any good anywhere. There are some situations where maybe in medicine it has done well, and like, oh great, we figure out how to like fix your leg from this infection, so we don't have to amputate it anymore. We can give you the antibiotics. We can do surgery in like a really tactical, skillful way now.
We can give you stem cells,
state-of-the-art machinery, stem cells. There are some ways in medicine that has been tremendous innovation, but there's nothing new in the world of health that has been powerful and impactful from science. It's just like brought in what is old forth into the new consciousness. And maybe for some people that was like revelatory. They're like, wow, look at this study on meditation. I'm gonna start meditating now. It's gonna help me. But it's not like a new thing. It's
science doesn't create anything new. That's so interesting. Science doesn't create anything. It just like sees something, whatever you want to look at, it can show you. But spirituality is sort of like, there's more creation within spirituality, I feel like.
Yeah, depending on how you define spirituality, I see the process of creation as a connection with God and able to make something exist that hasn't existed before. AI will never be able to do that. Only we can do that because we have a connection to God, and we're able to tune in to that process through the act of creativity. And that's where new things come from. We're able to remix, we're able to reach out into the great beyond of unmanifested potential and make something happen that has never been done before. And you don't do that through like observing what has already been done and like figuring out different measurements around it. You only do that through the creative process and tapping into the flow of God and channeling it into the here and now.
Yeah. The field of consciousness. Yeah, man. I've been getting into, I'm like on day 5 or 6 of like doing some new Joe Dispenza meditations. And something really clicked for me like after the third time I did it. So I've had a meditation practice for a little over a year already, um, and mainly to like help me. It was always to like calm me down, right? Especially during and after my dad died, I had like a spiritual unlock with the meditations. I was actually able to achieve a level of peace in my heart, and I was actually able to feel peace and gratitude. And but lately, most recently, this past week, I had this realization of what, like, as I move through my life and as I create my life, whatever I want to be created in my life, it's only going to come from a place of gratitude. And throughout the day, I might feel stress about money, about what I need to do, mainly money, and it's like the life that I want is only going to come from feeling gratitude all the time, like practicing feeling peace and gratitude for that creation coming forward, coming through. And the meditation helps get the ball rolling to create momentum for that. And I realized that this past week, and I thought it was a really powerful thing for myself because I might have meditated for about, I don't know, 15 minutes, under 15 minutes, and I'm looking for a sense of peace. It's been an active practice of doing that. But then throughout the day, like, I lose it. And then I'm trying to do some other thing. And like, there might be some days where I might have a good meditation, but then I lose it midday. And then at the end of the day, I'm looking for alcohol. And it's like, I'm looking for alcohol for peace. I'm looking for some sort of, and then I'm trying to justify it. Like, why do I need the alcohol? Or at least I'm trying to understand it. Um, but this past week I realized, oh wow, I'm getting the ball rolling. Like, there's momentum when it comes to beginning the meditation, and it's a choice to keep that momentum going. And it's like the same thing with like health, right? Because like the workout, like, sure, you might get healthy like in the moment of the workout, but then that workout only brings you momentum to do more workouts, to give you energy for more workouts, and to give you clarity to eat something healthy, or to give you curiosity. Because if you're not working out, then you're probably less curious. And so I've just been thinking about these things, like the idea of like meditation and like creating momentum for your spirituality. Like, this is like a big thing for me right now. What do you think about that?
That's huge. That's a great deep insight to focus on the momentum of all these things. And as you're struggling and striving to build new habits, to create a new lifestyle, each little brick in the wall is like how you build the foundation of your new self. And maybe it's a meditation practice, maybe it's a training session. And then the ideal is, yeah, you're doing it on a regular basis. It's just a part of your life. It's who you are. It's this new identity. It's like, I'm Case, I'm a meditator. It's not like I meditated today, or I'm trying to meditate. It's like, I am the meditator. I do this every day. It's because I love the act of being in this state of Zen, and I love how it makes me feel, and I love the peace that it exudes to other people, and I love how it gives me more authority over my life to cultivate gratitude and to make better choices. So building that momentum is very real. It's very powerful, and it's really the only way to get started on any journey, whether it's a mindfulness practice or a training practice or a creative practice. Just stacking those bricks every day is how you kind of become the person that you want to become, and by integrating it in your life, you'll never change from just like doing something once.
Yeah. It's so, because growing up, I grew up Christian, right? I grew up going to church, and there's always this idea of like, don't be like a Sunday Christian, and it's like there's this positive idea of like Sunday church, going to church on Sunday is supposed to be like where you just connect with people, and church is like should be a very specific moment in your spiritual life, and then you bring that forward throughout the week. Um, and I always like aligned with that, like, yeah, like I get that. But then with religion at large, like that type of culture is not created. And so I've sort of like fallen away from traditional Christianity. I don't really identify with being a Christian anymore. but the teachings from Jesus are incredibly real, and there's so much overlap with teachings from Buddha, and there's so much more overlap with just the world religions, or just like the golden rule, treat others how you would want to be treated. Like, there's so much more overlap with that and humanity, and I've just been like realizing like um, meditation brings me there in like a more better way, and that can help me connect with people in a deeper way like that. And I'm not sure if people who call themselves spiritual or religious or Christians, whatever, um, if they can actually say that they feel gratitude or they feel peace. There's these things that the religions say that they're saving you, but there's still so much chaos within people's hearts. And I don't know, I've just been on this journey of like trying to conjure up peace within myself. Has that been similar for you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And a woman asked me last week, she met me, she's like, how do you stay so zen? And it struck me because I was like, I haven't thought about that. And I guess it must be sensible, like for her to like ask me that. I'm like, I didn't realize I was exuding this like state of zen.
You get all pissed off right away. What the fuck are you talking about, son?
Yeah. Ah. So it's funny. It's funny to reflect on because I definitely used to have a lot more chaos, and now I have more clarity. And it was through the practicing the art of cultivating serenity, because a lot of times I was chasing happiness, but happiness comes from the Latin root term, just like happenstance, where it's just like happens. You can't really cultivate, you can't craft happiness. It just like happens, and when it happens, you can enjoy it and then let it go. But if you keep chasing that, you're gonna be chasing the dragon. You're gonna be going after all sorts of the dopamine fixes, whether it's like online shopping or drugs or things that are probably only good in the short term, not so much in the long term. But you can cultivate serenity from within, just like you're describing through meditation practice. For me, it's often through my movement practice. I'm able to cultivate a state of serenity and acquiescence with the flow of life, the inevitable ups and downs. So I think we can all find our way there. There are many ways to the waterfall, but there is certainly something to be said for allowing yourself to accept the present moment as it is, being here and now, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past, just being right here, right now, feeling your breath, expressing gratitude for the little things, even though you may not be living the exact life that you want to live. You've got a lot to be grateful. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, I guarantee that you're living a lot better than at least a billion people. At least.
Yeah.
There are at least a billion people who live on less than $1 per day.
Yeah.
And they're living in some sort of like unimaginable hell realm compared to what we are enjoying. And that includes everyone who is listening and watching this. So,
Yeah.
and that's not, playing that comparison game is pretty silly. Ultimately, like, oh, you're not dying in a war in Gaza. It's like, okay, but like my life is still terrible. Great. Like you can build from that place. So you can find that place of, okay. And from here, I'll take the next best step for me and my friends and my family. And that can be a difficult step sometimes. But from that place, you can be a lot more capable of taking that step.
I feel like the ego wants to compare suffering, and like that's like not good for culture. It's like no good. Like they want to compare status and suffering at the same time. Like I might judge how much you have compared to me, and then I'm going to judge how little I have compared to this other person. And some person might compare how oppressed they are compared to some other person. It's like, I feel like comparing is like a very ego trap.
Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you grow up religious, or did you grow up with any sort of faith when you were younger?
Completely agnostic.
Really?
Yeah.
Your whole family?
At least my immediate family. And
Yeah.
I would say even grandparents to some degree. My dad's parents, they would go to church, but they never pushed it on us. We would say grace around the dinner table. And then my other parents, my mom's family, they went to church. So we were just like, they never really talked about it. So it was a huge question for me as I started to become a man. I would explore different religions. I enjoyed reading the Bhagavad Gita and looking into Buddhist religion and Zen because I was fascinated by the art that they created. They made these giant statues of the Buddha for generations, carved into a mountainside. Like what would cause people to do that? Like father, son, grandfather, all carving away at this mountain to create an effigy of this symbol. Like why?
They want to. They wanted to. I don't know. I couldn't answer that. That's very interesting. I didn't. They did create it for thousands of years. I haven't gone too deep into Buddhism or the what's the book called again?
The Bhagavad Gita.
Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that's like the Bible of Buddhism. And
Yeah.
there's things like this in every religion. Beautiful medieval churches and those stained glass windows and the Sistine Chapel. There's beautiful art created and through every major religion and discipline. And I would say the reason why is because I felt such a soulful fire through being connected with God or the primary teachings of these texts and through what is called a religion, and that's a powerful thing.
Yeah. The Scientology building in Hollywood. It's so beautifully empty.
It is marvelous.
That's interesting, man. It's interesting that like you grow up agnostic, but then you're still interested in things. Because like some scientific minded people might say to like a lot of like scientific minded people fall away from the faith stuff because like they say that they know better or there's just no evidence for it. And it's just interesting how you have an experience where I don't want to say lukewarm, but you're definitely more open than not. And you're still curious enough to explore. Like, is that just proof of the soul wanting to connect to the bigger whole?
It could be. It could be seen as a reason for being like free will and having the soul is going to be generally curious about like what is going on here? Like what happens after we die and like what's the point of it all? Those are natural questions I think to ask, especially if someone hasn't given you an answer from
I feel like I know. I'm in a place where like I feel like I know what happens. Like I'm not even worried about that question anymore. Many people are, but I feel like just reincarnation is real.
Could be.
I think it is. I think it's just like objective. That's my opinion, but I think it is.
Objectively, it's a mystery.
Correct. We have no studies to prove it.
Well, we have story. We do have some stories from people who died.
Yeah. Yeah, near-death experience. Is that what you're saying?
Near-death experience. Now, they didn't like fully die for a while, but they all said it was a like very loving experience, like going home.
Yeah.
Felt a lot of bliss. Ram Dass says death is like taking off a tight shoe. So from all the evidence that we do have, it does seem like death is nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah. I'm definitely I don't want to say I'm curious about it, but I'm like less afraid of it. I'm less worried about it, I guess. I'm still working through those emotions, I was so close to my dad's death. My dad died at home in his bed. Beautiful death, I would say. Like if you had to like write it out, like if you had to choose it, like I would choose to die at home in my bed, in my sleep, and just being that close to it, it was like seeing how he took it, seeing how he just like lived in those final days, whether it was rough, but and he was struggling, and it's so surreal to even think back, like to even try to describe it. It's just so surreal. But my dad took it like a champ. My dad took it like it was just. I don't want to say he took it casually, but like he just like there was peace. There was peace in it, and I'm so grateful that there was peace. And I remember I would always text him during random times whenever I felt compelled, and I would just do my best to encourage him to choose to feel peace, to choose to feel gratitude. And he told our family stories of him being at the hospital during checkups and stuff and getting MRIs. Of one moment he was getting an MRI and he was brought to tears because of the feeling of gratitude, because of the doctors and because of us and because of everything going on. So there was evidence that he actually felt God. And I feel like feeling gratitude and peace is feeling God. Like that is the emotion of God. So I feel like he felt that. And, I know what that's like. I know what a good death can look like. And so I'm not afraid of what that might mean later or afterwards because I know what a good life looks like, I'm in a very interesting point in my life. It's like, I just want to go deeper. That's sort of how I feel.
It's an important calling to to listen to, and a shallow life is likely not one that's worth living. So it's good to be called into a deeper sense of being, a deeper sense of yourself, and to explore that and see what comes with it is certainly which path to take.
You're staying on the surface, right? You're on the tippity top level of, you don't want to go deep at all.
There's absolutely nothing going on here.
Absolutely nothing.
I like to keep it that way.
It's an empty head. It's like they zoom in like an Inside Out, and there's like no one there. Maybe a janitor.
It's like Homer Simpson when they showed the monkey.
Yes. Spider Pig, Spider Pig. That's you all day. That's funny, dude. Well, Case, this has been cool, dude. I think we've been talking for like over an hour. So is there anything else you want to like share, or anything like what else is on your heart? What else is on, like, what do you think needs to be spoken about right now as we're sending vibrations out to the earth?
Really appreciate you taking the initiative to create this conversation. I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to co-create with you, to listen and to be asked such great questions. And it's been awesome seeing you dive deeper into yourself and into your practice over the past year. You've gotten in better shape, you've got more energetic, and I'm excited to see where it takes you over the coming years. Thanks again for having me on, and Godspeed.
Thank you, sir. I want to be more shredded than you. That's my goal. Get even more lean.
Awesome. Stoked to see it.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, thank you. Thanks. All right. I'll wrap this up.